What is Ebola? Ebola is a viral hemorrhagic fever that has 5 different strains. The virus belongs to the filoviridae family, considered a close relative to the Marburg virus, making major headlines from 2013 to 2016. Globally known, Ebola has taken the lives of more than 11,000 people and still continues to spread. Considered as a serious outbreak throughout Western Africa, this deadly pathogen was placed on global notice and was kept within the perimeter of Africa to prevent the spread of Ebola. Although it has been reasonably contained, it is still being carefully considered and medical professionals are taking all the necessary steps to prevent the virus. What is the cause of Ebola? Ebola is caused by viruses in the filoviridae family. In Africa, Ebola developed from people handling ill, infected or dead animals including fruit bats, chimpanzees, gorillas, monkeys, and most animals considered to be bushmeat. So what is bushmeat? Bushmeat is the meat of African wild animals used as food. Although it is an important food source for the unprivileged in many African countries, it has been deemed to start or be the first cause of many deadly viruses such as Ebola. What are the symptoms of Ebola? Ebola is a hemorrhagic type fever, meaning that it is a virus that causes severe bleeding, organ failure, and can lead to death. It can affect many organs, damage the blood vessels, and even affect the body's ability to regulate itself. Some of the symptoms include fever, aches and pains such as severe headaches, muscle and joint pain, and intense stomach pain, weakness and fatigue, gastrointestinal symptoms including diarrhea and vomiting, unexplained hemorrhaging, bleeding or bruising. How is Ebola transmitted? The Ebola virus is transmitted mainly through. How can Ebola be treated? Currently, there is no specific medical treatment for Ebola and is yet to be found a cure. There are many effective ways to stop or abate the symptoms. One previous treatment of Ebola was an experimental biopharmaceutical drug known as ZMapp, comprised of 3 chimeric monoclonal antibodies. This drug was showing signs of effective treatment. American physicist and immunologist Anthony Fauci thought the drug to be harmful to some patients, and ZMapp was slowly put to an end. The goal was to see if any other drug could outperform ZMapp and beat the baseline of the drug's abilities. Late 2019, a new upcoming vaccine was developed. The Merck's Ebola vaccine was an FDA-approved vaccine to protect people from the Ebola virus, marking the first approved vaccine for the contagious disease. The current way to treat Ebola that is safe and efficient is providing fluids and electrolytes through infusion into the vein, offering oxygen therapy to maintain oxygen status, specific medication for blood pressure, reduce vomiting and diarrhea, and to manage fever and pain, approved vaccines, and treating other infections. Medical strategies used by medical professionals. Medical professionals have a wide extent of knowledge on how to prevent deadly viruses, but throughout the time of a virus outbreak, professionals studied the virus and its behavior to find potential ways to develop vaccines, cures, and even find strategies to slow or stop the spread of the virus. These strategies used by medical professionals to prevent Ebola include avoid areas of known outbreaks, wash your hands frequently, avoid bushmeat, avoid contact with infected people, follow infection control protocol procedures, and don't handle human remains. Bodily fluids or close and direct physical contact with infected bodily fluids. The most infected bodily fluid being transmitted is infected blood, followed by sweat, feces, vomit, breast milk, urine, and semen. Another way of transmission is through inanimate objects. For example, a previous patient in hospital who has been cured or has died from Ebola could leave contaminated clothes, medical equipment, needles, or bedding equipment, potentially transmitting it to the next person, and so on.